Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are well. I hope you have had a lovely day, whatever day you are on when you're watching this. Where am I going with this? I do not know. Let's get back into the video. Welcome back to my channel. Hello if you're new. Today we are going to do the second of two videos that I do on a show. We are going to do the review, which should be inverted commas, but I have a cup of tea in this my hand, for Miss Saigon. So if you want to know my thoughts, my feelings and everything in between on this show, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. The tea has been finished, popping it down, and now have 2 hands again. Woohoo! Hello, welcome back to this channel. Like I already said, welcome back to video 2 of 2. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let's get this spiel out because it's been a long day. Ready? 3, 2, 1. For every show that I like to see, I like to do 2 separate videos on it. Time and willing permitted, willing being a really big thing. The first of the 2 videos is the last video. The last video was the nervous guide to the show. The nervous guide is everything you need to go, everything you need to know before the show, before you go. So that could be contents and sensory warnings, view from my seat, information about the theatre if it's one that I don't know well, haven't been to very often, or I just think it would be very helpful. What have I not already said? Merchandise. And everything, like anything that I think might be helpful before you go and see a show to make your experience a bit easier, because sometimes it can be a bit nervous and it might make you a bit anxious. So that is the nervous guide. The second of the 2 is this one. This is the review. Review is always put in inverted commas because at the end of the day I'm in no way professional. I just really enjoy watching theatre and I like to talk about it because sometimes, including today, I go and watch a show alone, and because I've seen it alone I don't get a chance to have the post-show catch-up, the rambling about things I enjoyed, things I didn't enjoy, people I enjoyed, people I've seen previously and really love, and yeah, my thoughts and feelings, like I said at the beginning. So without further ado, let's get into Miss Saigon, the UK tour. This show is definitely one of those ones I feel I should have watched earlier on in my existence as a theatre fan. According to the programme, the world premiere of Miss Saigon was at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane on the 20th of September 1989, which means this show is nearly as old as I am. No, it is older than I am by a year and a month. So as it has been around for a while, like myself, it's probably one that I should have seen sooner, especially since in my lifetime it's definitely done at least one UK tour before this one, and it had a stint in the West End a few years back. So I feel like I probably should have seen this show before I did. Alas, I didn't, and me today going into the theatre, this was a brand new experience for me. This tour also links up or marks the 50th anniversary since the fall of Saigon. Apparently, according to the programme, that was not planned, just the way it worked, but it is quite clever and also kind of poignant that those 2 things kind of linked together. This show has music and lyrics by the one and only duo of Boublil and Schoenberg. Probably be pronouncing both of those names incorrectly, even though everyone knows at least one song in life by those 2 people, because not only are they the musical intelligence and incredibleness of this show, they're also the geniuses behind Les Mis. So if you've never heard anything from Miss Saigon, you are more likely to have heard someone like Susan Boyle sing I Dream Dream. I did know a decent amount of the music before I went in. I did, however, really enjoy that they are using a full orchestra, not full as in like the complete orchestra, but a good sized orchestra for this show. So the music you are hearing is coming from the pit, and it is an insane sound. It was just like incredible to listen to that in the flesh after listening to little bits and pieces throughout the years. This show is definitely on the intense side, shall we say. One, because it comes down to where the show is set and the subject matter of the show. But also down to the story. The story of this show is kind of based on the opera, which is Madame Butterfly. However, they've shifted location and characters to a different world. So this show itself takes on this story, the intense love but doomed love story are between two characters, a US Marine and a 17-year-old Vietnamese girl. How all good stories should start. Like I said, it's very much an intense show. There's a lot going on at all times, but you kind of get drawn into the world that the show is set in. I was very much like this for the entire show, and because you are so drawn in, you kind of just get hit by everything that's going on throughout the show. The last couple of moments of it, and I said this in the nervous guide, was like, I don't want to ruin the plot of the show, even though I feel like most people know the entire plot of the show, even if they haven't seen it before, like myself. But the last few moments of the show, when somebody, I'm not going to ruin too much here, but when somebody dies, I was very much like, oh my goodness, to the point that I started crying and I didn't realise I was crying. Like, the lights dimmed after a certain character went, no! And the screen went down and the lights, like everything started getting ready for the bows, and I was like, why am I sobbing at this point? It was very much just like a bam in your face, but it was just really, really cleverly done. I was like, how am I crying here? Creatively for this tour, I wanted to mention a few things. Firstly, direction by, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, so apologise in advance, Jean-Pierre Van der Spuy. Again, like I said, probably got it completely wrong. I also wanted to mention the set design and costume design, which were both done, should I say, by Andrew D. Edwards. I very much enjoyed this set, which is a weird thing to say, because for the most part it is pretty static in that the two sides and the back wall never change apart from projections on said back wall. Most of the moving comes from 3 separate rooms / 3 separate movable compartments, and that moved in and out and had doors and such, and also could be interlinked to make different rooms. I loved it. It was very ingenious. Also wanted to shout out the choreography, which is done by Chrissy Cartwright and Carrie-Anne Ingul. Again, probably butchered that surname. Truly apologise. But yeah, I really enjoyed watching it. Like I said in the Nervous Guide, it is a long watch, but at no point did I go, oh my gosh, this is dragging on. I need to check my watch and see how much time I've got left. So that is definitely a hint that I enjoyed it, because I did not clock watch. One thing I do have to mention, for my performance, the sound was not bad, but the first 5-ish minutes, 5-10 minutes, the microphone sounded a bit echoey and odd. And when your first 10 minutes is you stepping into that world, meeting the characters, especially the two pivotal ones of the engineer and Kim, and everything just sounds a little bit funny, it kind of took me away slightly from it in the beginning. And also there was other times throughout the entire show where there was people saying things and you could hear it, but it wasn't the best, I wouldn't say quality, but I missed a few things, not massive pivotal things, but missed someone's line and you're just like, okay, what, okay. It wasn't like a big thing, but it was just something that happened in my performance. I just wanted to mention it. Let's move on to the cast. Now in my performance I had, well, I think 2 understudies, because I always, if I can see one, take a picture of during this performance, these people are playing these characters. Now, one person by the name of Aine Ferrer, and I'm again probably pronouncing that incorrectly should I say, who was Gigi, does not appear anywhere in my beautiful, stunning programme. So I don't know whether she is a maternity cover or what her situation is, or if she is if she goes by a different name. And yeah, I don't know the situation, so I'm classing her as an understudy, but I could be incorrect, so I truly apologise if that is the case. Our other definite understudy was in the role of Chris. Chris in our performance was played by Daniel J. Bryan, and I really enjoyed his performance. I very much grew attached to Chris. Act 1 Chris, delightful fellow. Act 2 Chris has his moments, but I enjoyed his performance. I enjoyed Daniel's portrayal of that role, and I really also enjoyed his work alongside both the character of John, who I will get to shortly, and also to Kim, who I will move on to now. Now Kim in our performance was played by Julianne Pundon. Hopefully again I'm pronouncing this name correctly. I am terrible at names. If you've never watched this channel before, you will know this, or you won't know this, but you soon will. Now in the programme it was listed that this is Julianne's professional debut. This tour is her first professional tour, and I was just sat there through the entire show after I read that going, oh my goodness, the talent, and I was just like blown away by her in that character. Her voice was stunning, and yeah, I just loved everything about it and wish her a fruitful and glorious life in theatre in the future. Moving on, we have the engineer. Engineer is played by Sean Miley Moore. Sean had everyone in the palm of their hand throughout, from the first introduction in Act 1 to the last big moment that they have in The American Dream, which was very much a fever dream of a song. I didn't know what to expect when that started, and I think for like 2 minutes afterwards I was still like, excuse me, what? But the stage presence that Sean has as the engineer, was a joy to watch. And yeah, you almost don't know whether to class the engineer as a good character or a bad character. You decide. I don't know. Speaking of the good / bad characters, let's just quickly mention Toy. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. who was played by Miko Juan. Our audience decided in the in the vows to boo like a pantomime villain, but at the same time he's just like, is he good, is he bad, is anyone good or bad? Is he a protagonist or an antagonist? We just don't know. Did the power get to his head? Did his love of Kim cause him problems? Yeah, don't know. But by the by, two more named characters to talk about. Firstly, let's go for Ellen, who's played by Emily Langham. Emily as Ellen only really gets play in Act 2, which is unfortunate, but I did enjoy her in her one solo moment as she kind of battles with the new knowledge that one, Chris had a life before her and that Chris had a child during that life, and that whole internal struggle. I enjoyed that very much. Speaking of things I truly enjoyed, was listening to the vocal stylings of Dom Hartley Harris once again. Dom plays John in this tour, which is a thing I completely forgot about until I was sat in the auditorium with my programme having a quick flick through before the show started, and I was like, wait, Dom was in this? That is kind of cool. I have been aware of Dom or Dominic's work since the good old times of Rent at the Hope Mill post-COVID, which seems an age ago, but it was only, what, 4-5 years ago? So to see him on a stage again was absolutely joyful, and he leads the start of Act 2 with Widoy. I was like, yes! Plus, the excellent thing about going to see it in Birmingham is that it's essentially his home stop, if you will. And we always like to support our West Midlands people. Long story short, I really enjoyed seeing this show finally after the many years it has been in existence. It was an intense watch, but it was just good. It was really fun. Not fun. It was not a fun watch, but it was a good watch, and the music is stunning. The people on stage, stunning. It's just good. Get a ticket. The tour is continuing on throughout the rest of 2025, moving into 2026. Its last stop is in Manchester in August of next year. The last show of the entire tour is on my birthday, the 8th of August in Manchester. And it also, if you are Midlands based and you missed it at the Alex, is also going to have another stop in 2026 in Birmingham at the Hippodrome, which I may see, I may not. I don't know. Depends. But yeah, it's got a long tour ahead of it, and I think you should all go and check it out. Just saying. There we are. That is show number 35 of the year reviewed. Yeah, a few more kind of penciled into the diary for the end of the year, and then we need to also get into doing the roundups, which is terrifying me because I don't actually know when I'm gonna have a chance to fit it all in. Some might have to be at the start of 2026. I'm just warning you now, with a month to go. But yeah, I'm going to silence myself because my throat is killing me and I need to sit down and relax. It's been a long day. But all that's left to say, as usual, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come back next time for more theatre based fun and frolics. And lastly, what we always say to round off a video on this channel, and that is so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen and goodbye.